Thanks very much for the introduction, Steve. If I haven't met some of you guys, Tom Walter from Ziptrek Tours. Sorry I've been buzzing around taking lots of media, but that's the whole point of this roadshow. We actually decided not to use any print media to promote it. So I'm essentially the social media guru, as well as presenter, as well as driver, as well as solar demonstrator. So I'm wearing a lot of hats. I just wanted to talk to you guys about Ziptrek Tours. This is a business I've been working on for the last 3.5 years. Finally opened in December of 2009, which was very, very exciting for us. You might get a quick picture there, cable strung between trees, amazing vistas, beautiful. The whole idea is, really, what is Ziptrek? Any chance you could drive this one, sir?
Can't hold it up, yeah. Sorry. Basically, the operation started in Whistler in 2002, and the second operation in the world opened in 2009 in Queenstown. Put simply, it's an exhilarating interpretive flying fox adventure. So guests fly, small groups, 10 guests, 2 guides, fly from treetop to treetop on cables, and essentially we have designed beautifully sustainably designed tree houses. So it's a big kids adventure, essentially. You can really see, some quite phenomenal architecture, all locally sourced materials. That's the Skyline gondola building up there. So people catch their gondola up the hill, walk about 100 metres off the top, and then essentially zip and walk their way all the way back down to town. As I said, the planning and development for this started in 2006, and then we launched in 2009. So it was quite a long process. Reserves Act, RMA, a council that didn't really understand sustainability and what we were trying to do. We are launching the top to bottom course this summer, so shaping has been a big one. But probably the main thing I wanted to show you guys is we actually looked at this process of backcasting. So it's really important to actually understand the background of the business. In Whistler in British Columbia, it's a municipality that actually has adopted the natural step as a decision-making framework. So what Steve was referring to earlier. And there's 4 basic conditions. I won't go through them in too much detail, but essentially looking at the build-up of substances taken from the Earth's crust, or use less or different stuff. Ongoing build-up of substances produced by society, or make less or different stuff. Ongoing degradation of natural systems by physical means, or reduce our impact on life-sustaining ecosystems. And essentially we have to make sure that we don't undermine the ability of people to meet their human needs, or meet human needs fairly and efficiently. Now, this is a science-based framework, can be very complex, and our challenge was to actually turn what is essentially an adventure activity into something that was truly educative. So the idea was put people in an immersive experience, put them in a natural environment, get them embedded in the cycles of nature, make them porous to their experience, and then deliver something about this message of sustainability. Because my own experience as an outdoor educator is if we actually understand things from a first-hand point of view, if we're immersed in an experience, we tend to get it. Because first-hand experience and a message that's delivered actually leads to something that really sticks. What we've really decided to do, if you can go back on slide 2, is apply a New Zealand context. One of the biggest issues for me being an Australian coming to New Zealand to set up a business that was first set up in Canada, people are sitting there going, what do you know about our place? So I spent a lot of the time making sure that I really understood what a Kiwi context was. And we found that the vision statement for the 2015 tourism strategy brought up 2 key terms, Paitiakitanga and Manakitanga. So taking the idea of guardianship and hospitality, and applying those to make sure that the service that we then provide to people that come on our experience actually reflects a genuinely Kiwi experience. And I've based the whole interpretation, which has been written over a long period, around the Maori Whakatoki, Manaki Whenua, Manaki Tangata, Kare Whakanua. Just care for the land and care for people, go forward. If you ask me, that's the message of sustainability in a Kiwi context. It's not just about sitting there and saying, we've got this scientific framework and let's use this. It's about taking what is here, recognising that there is an embedded knowledge within this place and within the people, and recognising that people, especially from overseas, are coming here and asking for this. We've looked at developing in Australia. Obviously the context is considerably different there as well, so no doubt I'll be close to my home. big thing about Queenstown Ziptrek is that it was designed to be sustainable by design. So we thought really carefully from first principles about what did the activity do? Did we need to drive people at the top? We decided to place ourselves on the gondola hill because essentially there was existing infrastructure which, as Steve has said, basically using fully sustainable renewable energy source. Our construction techniques were essentially using macrocarpet source from the South Island. Douglas fir beams came from on course because they're invading the wild pine. So rather than actually bringing in treated pine, which is what most people would do, we use macrocarpet that doesn't require chemical treatment, it's naturally weather and rock resistant, and obviously brought in Douglas fir beams which have no carbon mold associated with them. No heavy machinery used, so essentially we bring in all the materials stick by stick, and truly climb up trees, string cables, and then basically hoist all the materials with ropes and wearing harnesses, and then zip them into place. So once you leave the ground at the beginning, you don't actually hit the ground until you get to the fire. So in terms of the experience, really immersive. People really get a big buzz out of this. And when they actually have that experience, you tend to find they listen very, very clearly to the message that our guys are actually trying to impart. Education is obviously a huge component of this, and I'm an educator by training. I'm very passionate about education, and ultimately it's the reason we're on the road trip and decided to partner with Polytech in a truly collaborative endeavour. I don't want to forget about nomad safaris or another significant sustainability business in Queenstown, and they were kind enough to provide us with the vehicles that you guys see out there. So basically the whole road trip has been fueled by biodiesel. Both the Ziptrek Eco Tours and Nomad are part of that biodiesel scheme down in Queenstown. This is a big one, and I think a lot of people miss the strength of technology innovation for day-to-day operation. In a lot of ways, to put it simply, it overcomes the barriers of distance. We have a Whistler operation which is very, very popular and employs 150 staff in peak. All of our HR is done from there. All of our hiring is done through Whistler. We have regular weekly web conferences. So we're actually sitting there and overcoming that tyranny of distance by physically being able to connect with people and using a lot of online tools, things like the Google Suite of Google Apps, to make sure that we have real-time collaboration. Getting on Skype with a lot of our contacts, not actually relying on local telecommunications companies for hardline, but going through voice over internet protocols. Things like that are great cost savers, but they also tend to overcome a lot of those barriers. We do a lot of virtual computing as well, which uses 1 to 2% of the power that you would actually have to use to have a machine installed in a particular area. Our service is in Canada rather than New Zealand, so we don't actually a whole lot of this is also very, very intentional by design. As a local employer, we employ 40 people locally. For a business which is essentially cable strung from trees, that's a pretty major employer. And what we can then do is keep a core staff of 15, and then essentially seasonal staff of around about 25 to 30, and that services our needs. It's great for the Queenstown market, but obviously it's quite transient. In terms of these last two ongoing environmental reparation and participation in community projects, basically the largest commitment to environmental reparation was committed by Ziptrek during the planning process to make sure that people realise we were very, very serious about working with the environment on a hill that is known really for having a whole lot of invasive flowers. So it looks like a North American hill, basically covered in this green kind of forest made of Douglas fir and pine. What we've been doing is clearing out the low slash and essentially replanting the beach. Before we opened in December of 2009, we already planted over 1,000 trees. And what we've just done is developed a trail which runs through the bottom section of the course, which showcases the largest remaining patch of remnant beach on the hill. And what we're trying to do is essentially remove all of those wild pines, clear out the area around it, let it breathe, and it naturally grows from its outside edge. So by doing that, we've got a 33-year lease. We hope that by the time we finish operating there, we don't take up another lease. That essentially is the far better state than it was when we first arrived. And that's when it's truly a sustainable mission. Community projects are, we roll our sleeves up. You can see my hands that are covered in scratches and cuts, and I've just had to lose a nail because I've been building this trail and pulling out trees. All of our staff get involved in this sort of stuff. I'm very, very big on creating a whole sense of a land ethic. If you guys actually put your hands in the soil and get stuck in, you actually understand what the business is about. If you can encourage your guests to do the same thing, they will generally then go and embrace a lot of content that we're talking about. And that's what we've found. Communicate the message like definition. Walk the talk. don't talk too much if possible. Let the activity actually send the message out. Put simply, this is our website. These are the sort of news you get. At the very least, people are coming out and having fun. At the very best, they're sitting there and saying, I want to enroll in the Tauranga Polytech course. We have talked a lot about the idea of how do we partner these sort of organisations up. How do we make sure that sustainability from the tip of people's tongues when they come here? How do we represent what the 2015 tourism strategy is asking for, which is kaitiaki tonga and banana tonga. If you'd like to find out more, literally ziptrek.com. Check it out, see what we're talking about. Please come to the website. Or